Welcome to another session of Quick Fix Golf, quickfixgolf.com, where you can get a video of your swing, or you take the video, you send it to us, and we do a complete analysis. And tonight's session is about drills for short putts. There's Darren DeMailey, he's in Myrtle Beach. That's me, I'm in Richmond, Virginia. But we're both the PGA pros at Tupelo Bay, which is just, some people think it's Murals Inlet, it's called Garden City. They're sort of right alongside each other. We have a lot of fun down there. But all because you're probably locked in right now, like most of us are because of this COVID-19. Get out your cell phone, go in your backyard, video your swing, and send it to us. We'll do a complete analysis absolutely free. Now, tonight's class, I think, is probably one of the most important ones. I think golf is played from the hole backwards, not the other way around. So the first thing you got to understand about the putter and the short putts is that the ball is going in the opposite direction this putter's facing, period. It's not up for discussion. You can swing the putter this way, the ball will go straight. You can swing the putter this way, the ball will go straight if that club face is pointed there at the moment of impact. The ball comes right off the face and it goes. I've seen so many different putting strokes that, the path of the golf club was just horrible, but they knew how to get their face at the right time at impact. Billy Mayfair's one of them. I mean, you look at his putting stroke, it looks terrible. Esteban Toledo is on the senior tour. He cuts everything, but he has the putter face pointed at the target at the moment of impact, and that's what matters. So you've got to find a way to make sure or make friends with, and this is something I would have done. Let's say if this was my putter, it's not. I would go from here to there and paint it all white so that I would see that leading edge and really know where my leading edge is pointed, because that's going to be the success or failure. The ball goes where the club face is pointed. You're going to get a free special report. All you got to do is send us an email to QuickFix or quickservice@quickfixgolf.com. And it's going to be on how to improve your putting at home. And it'll show you where to go to Lowe's, which is still open. You can still go there. And there's a little device you buy for like 10, I think I paid $10 or $12 for it. It's really used for lining sheetrock. But it'll show you exactly how to do it in the whole report. You put it right in front of the putter face. You make yourself a little piece of cardboard with some crosshairs on it. And you can work on making friends with the leading edge of your putter to where you really become more confident that the putter's pointed where you think it's pointed. Because that's vitally important. Because if it's not, you'll do things in your stroke to try and get the ball to the hole. People that are, for instance, their putter face is always open, it's pointed to the right, they'll have a tendency to pull all their putts. And then they pull the putt and it goes in the hole, they think, oh wow, I did a great thing. You don't realize that that's what they're having to do in order to compensate because their putter face is off. The other thing we had to discuss before we do the drills is what kind of putter you're going to have. This is face balanced. See how the face balanced right here, toe down. Let me go back here. Some have more toe weight than this. I believe that these kind of putters, like this one here in the middle of the answer too, you have to putt on an 18-degree arc. You putt this way on an arc, 18 degrees. Now, I use the face balance putter. Why? Because I try to keep the face facing the hole the whole time, and my total emphasis is on short putts. I'm worried about 4 to 6 footers. I'm not worried about 25, 30-foot putts. I could care less. All I'm trying to do with those putts is to get them within the circle. Sometimes they go in, they do, I laugh. Because if you look at the numbers, even on tour, how many guys make putts over 25 feet, you're going to be surprised. It's not that often. It's just you see it on TV because they're winning that week, and that's why they're winning, because they're knocking in 25-foot putts. I think I make a living by getting the ball within a 4-foot circle and then making it every time. Getting the ball within a 4-foot circle and making it every time. That's my emphasis. That's what I work on. So I use a face balance putter because I want to be able to take the putter straight back and straight forward, straight back and straight forward. As you'll see, here I am on the green. And you'll see my setup is very similar to Jack Nicklaus. Why? Because when I was growing up, he was our hero. So, it looks like a Jack Nicklaus starter kit from Havana. And right here, you'll see a tee in the ground. And the reason for that tee is, I believe on these 4-foot putts that I want to move the putter as little as possible, because if the ball's going to go where the club face is pointed, the less I move it, the better chance I have of not screwing it up. So the challenge is to point it there in the first place, then take the putter back, and then strike the ball and not change that face angle whatsoever. And the shorter the backstroke, the better. So I'll take a tee and I might start the tee here, roll a few putts, then move the tee up to here, and then roll a few putts, and then move the tee up to here. I gradually move it up some, and you'll be surprised if you're doing this for the first time how far you've been taking back the putter and you didn't even realize it. So this is a good drill. Two good drills to do. One, to do the one at home. So ask for the special report so I can give it to you. And you can do that right at your house right now. And then secondly, when you get to the putting green, I go to 4 feet away. I don't go 25 feet away. When I see people walk to a putting green and they throw 3 balls out and they start rolling from flagstick to flagstick, like one of these little flagsticks here on the green, I just, I feel sorry for them. They have no freaking idea what they're doing. None. The first place I go to the putting green, 4 feet, no further than that. Because if I can't get it in the hole from 4 feet every time, there's no use me even dealing with 25 feet. What's the difference? Now let me click on this. Here we go. Here is the typical drill you'll see. 4-foot circle, the ball's in a perfect circle. And you roll one and you roll another. I've heard that Phil Mickelson will roll 150 of these when he's practicing short putts. And it doesn't mean he's practicing that every day. There's just not, believe it or not, the guys usually get to practice Tuesday and Wednesday. That's about it. And even Wednesday is a pro-am. And if you have to play in that, and the golf course is packed with people playing the pro-am, it's hard to get enough chance to practice. I know that sounds crazy, but a golf tournament is so busy. And, you can hit balls on the range, but you need to really work on the short game big time, I think. So you don't want to be practicing on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, unless something's really going wrong. And if something's really going wrong, you might not see Saturday or Sunday. But I don't do this drill myself. I do it that way, which probably looks like it's wacky. Now, here's my reasoning. Because if I go back to the perfect circle, I don't think I get a 4-foot putt every time when I get on a golf course. Sometimes I get a 2-foot putt. Sometimes I get so here's a 2-footer, here's a 6-footer, here's a 4-footer, here's a 5-footer, here's a 3-footer, here's a 2-footer. So here's a 6-footer again. So I only go as far as 6 feet, no further at all, period. Never any further than 6 feet. In fact, 6 feet is really pushing. I shouldn't go further than 5. But I feel like I'm going to get a different putt every time. So I want a different putt every time. So that's why mine will look like this. Then when I get done doing that work, I might do one of these. 2 feet, 2.5, 3, 4, 4.5, 5, 6. See? And I just have the balls a little further from the hole each time, so that I'm rolling at a little different speed each time. See? Now what I try to do, or what I think is really better, the chances of the average golfer is to go out and practice the way you ought to practice is slim to none. I mean, it's just not going to happen. One, somebody'd have to show them how to do that. And number two, the only chances they'll even know how to do that is if they're like a 1-2 handicapper. To really have the disciplined practice skills that you have to have. Plus, you don't have the time. So you got to sit there and budget in your mind and say, you know what, once every 2 weeks, I'm going to the putting green on Sunday afternoon from 4 to 6 p.m. in the afternoon, and I'm going to do nothing but these drills from 4 feet in. Bang, 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 keep working on them. I can work on my putter alignment at home with the little light I want to go buy at Lowe's. And you see, that's almost reasonable to say you could do that much once every 2 weeks or so, or an hour or so. Or what's even better is if you have a 12 o'clock starting time, why anybody wants to play at 7:30 completely blows my mind. I used to hate those starting times. But if you say, hey, I'm going to start at 12 o'clock, well, I'm going to get to the golf course at 10. And then we're going to have a online class on exactly what to do with those 2 hours before you play. And that way you practice just before you play. And get it in that way, because your chances of having days where you just practice and not play golf, if you're going to play golf, you're going to spend 4.5, 5 hours anyway. So you might as well spend 7, or at least spend 6. You might as well spend at least a 1 hour disciplined warm up before you play that's actually practice. And I think you'll be surprised at how much better you'll play, especially the first few holes, than you getting a 10:30 starting time and at 10:15 you're pulling in the parking lot and you're grabbing your sticks and you're rushing to pay and go get on a car. You just can't do that. That ain't going to work. At least it never worked for me, that's for sure. So you want to have a disciplined, and we're going to have a class on that one night to do just that, nothing but that. So we're going to open it up for questions now. Let me turn the microphone on. Who's got a question?
Bobby.
Yes.
Darren told me when he was working for Nicklaus that Nicklaus never practiced putting. That's hard to believe.
Well, and here's the difference, especially right now. In speaking of Darren's even generation compared to mine, Nicklaus evidently didn't concern himself with putting that much because he felt like if he didn't hit the ball well enough, who cares? Hogan himself, who was a horrible putter, well, I shouldn't say horrible, but he wasn't great, would say if you want to be a good putter, get the ball closer to the hole. I was taught by a guy that had a great short game, so I had a real appreciation for saving par from anywhere. But as Darren will tell you, and he's right, all the statistics today, you got to move the ball 300 plus, or you can't even compete, because there's such an emphasis on moving the ball a long ways and playing your second shots with short irons, like pitching wedges, 9 irons. Where in my day, it wasn't unusual to be hitting a 4 iron to a green. The ball just didn't go as far. It was just the ball and the club and everything else. So you had to get up and down around a lot of greens in order to save par. And so do the younger players today if the hole's extremely long. But it's got to be pretty long for them because they're hitting at 3 bills plus. It's ridiculous. So today's golf, it is more of a hitter's game rather than you trying to. You don't generally make birdies with getting up and down, but you do need to make these 4-foot putts. So either way. So and you look at their statistics; they're not making that many 25-footers. So you got to get the ball close to the hole, and the best way to get the ball close to the hole is by hitting a wedge, not a 4 iron.
What about the theory of you get in close that you pop the ball?
You do what?
You hit it brisk.
I don't know. I mean, my only concern is the club face. I'm trying to control the club face. I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm trying to point the club face on the right side. I'm talking 4 feet and in. I'm going to point the club face to the right place, and I'm going to make sure I can hit this golf ball and not change that club face angle.
If you only take it back 3 or 4 inches, doesn't it almost feel like you're pushing the ball instead of hitting it?
I'd give it a good firm pat, but I still think the shorter you take the club back, the better.
Okay.
I call it a short backswing, kick in the butt. That's how I think of it. Short backswing, kick in the butt. Now, when I'm hitting long putts, that's completely different. I use a long flowing stroke. But on a short putt, 4 feet and in, that's when the matador gets out the red cape and the sword, and the bull gets it. And you can't miss.
What about the weight in the putters now?
The weight?
Yes.
I like a heavy putter. I use a heavy putter.
Me too.
Heavier the putter, the better. I'd like those putters they have for a while called the heavy putter, and they went away. I don't know what happened.
Oh, when you say longer putt, where you have the flowing swing, flowing stroke, How far are you talking about?
I guess from around 12 feet and further back.
So shorter than 12 feet, 10 or 12 feet, you're using that short, very short stroke.
Anything, yeah, anything from 6, 8, 9 feet. I'm hitting the ball. I'm not really swinging the putter.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now,
Can you
somebody
talk
said
a little
something
more
about
about the? Can you talk a little more about the? You showed the styles of putters where where they're face balanced and then there's toe heavy, and what about the one where the toe it hangs down about 45 degrees or so? You mentioned something about it's an arc when you take it back on the putter path.
Hold on. Yeah, I wouldn't use this putter here. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I personally wouldn't use it.
Yeah, I'm talking about the one in between those two. There's one where the toe comes down about 45 degrees instead of 90. It's not face balance, but it's that one.
Yeah,
The second answer two.
the one in the middle.
Yeah.
I think the most dangerous of the three is this one over here. But that's just me. That doesn't mean that there isn't a heck of a lot of touring pros out there that swing the putter on an arc that kick tail. It's just how I was brought up. I want to keep that putter face facing the hole, sort of like Lanny Watkins kind of thing. On short putts, I'll cup it under if I have to in order to keep the face look. I don't want that face to leave the hole.
And with that real short stroke you're talking about for putts of 6 feet and in, you're going to minimize the possibility of burying the club face.
Exactly.
Yeah, gotcha.
Now, according to someone here, let me see. This somebody they put in here. Who is this? Roy. Darren has a great class on putting according to JN. Who's JN? Putter needs to be totally, according to Jack Nicklaus, totally vertical and the hands at the bottom of the grip. Shorter backstroke. Yeah, well, I sort of putt the same way Nicklaus putts in a way, although longer backstroke than front stroke. On short putts, I disagree with him. Now, he might have been talking about a longer putt. And he's read some information about this. One guy talks about the long putt, letting the weight of the putter just swing and then hit to the ball and not really follow through, where you see so many people for so many years always taught, follow through stronger, accelerate through the ball. This guy talks about, hitting at the ball stop, and they have statistics and stuff where they measure this with computers. And maybe he's right. I don't know. Yeah, I got it. JN is Jack Nicklaus. But all I can tell you is what I do and what other guys do that seem to be successful. And I think the shorter the backstroke, the better on a short putt. That's just me.
Hey, Bobby, quick question. This is Justin.
Hey, Justin.
When you have break on a 4-foot putt, let's say there's a significant amount of break, will you try to hit it a little bit harder and take some of that break out with more pace, or what's your pace going into the hole on a difficult 4-foot putt?
Well, I think the hole's bigger if you roll the ball the right speed. And 4 feet, you should be able to feel what the right speed is. Just understand that if it has a lot of break and it's fast and you're going to roll the ball real slow, you got to play more break than you think, because the slower the ball rolls, the more it breaks. The slower the ball rolls, the more it breaks. So, but generally, I don't even think, I don't know. 4-footer, I try to get it in the hole. I don't try and sissy it in there. I don't usually roll it real slow, but I don't bang it in there either. But I want it to go in like I think it's going to go in. Putt it like you mean it, not like you're scared it might go in the hole. Any other questions? Hello.
than a hit?
A what?
More of a upright pendulum type swing on the longer putts.
Right.
So the
On
shorter
long
putts
putts, I
more.
swing the putter. I swing the putter on long putts. That'll be another class we'll do. But I swing the putter on long putts. I don't swing the putter on short putts. I take it back short and I kick it in the butt. I smack them right in the butt.
Okay, so it's a hit on the shorter
A
putts.
short putt, just like Gary Player. Gary Player was the best
Yep.
putter because he jabbed everything. Everything was short and he popped it.
You know what he said? A short but ever so decisive blow.
Exactly.
That's
That's
what
exactly.
Gary said.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. See, a decisive blow. In other words, putt it like you mean it. Putt it like you think it's going to go in. You know, look like you're actually going to make it. The worst thing you can do is putt it like you're afraid it might go in. You can't be scared. They can't electrocute you or shoot you if you miss a putt. I mean, it's only putt. It's only a game. I mean, come on. You may
Bobby,
want
on
to
a
kill
20-foot
yourself.
putt.
What? Go ahead.
I'm sorry, on a 20-foot putt, do you still have the feeling of taking the putter straight back and
No.
straight through?
I just swing it like a pendulum.
Okay, yeah, all right, that makes sense.
So it's probably on an arc, and I don't even realize it, and I don't care.
Right, but your hands would be going back, but not, so you're not making the putter go outside in, sort of.
No. I just swing the putter like a pendulum, so it's probably on an arc.
Gotcha.
Because I'm just trying to swing the right size and the right tempo to hit the ball just hard enough to where it goes to the hole and no further.
Yeah,
Because if I three putt, it's because I'm 7 feet short or 10 feet past.
absolutely.
That's the only way I'm going to three putt. So I just got to roll the ball the right speed. If I'm off a little bit by the line, I don't pay as much attention to the line as I do the speed, meaning I'm looking at the color of the grass. You know, is it soft? Is it wet? Is it dry? Is it hard? Is it this? Is it that? I'm trying to guess the speed of the surface because the ball speed is everything on a long putt.
Yeah,
On the short putt, it's club face, club face, club face, club face, club face, club face, club face.
mm-hmm.
Well, that long putt using that pendulum you showed us in a seminar really helps.
Oh, it did. Well, that's something new. Thank you for the compliment, though. I feel like Dr. Brown. It works. It works.
That's why you're Ricky Ricardo.
There you go. You know, he might be my dad. I don't know.
Another Lopez.
That's why in Cuba they call everybody Tio, uncle. Any other questions? If not, we'll call it a night. What time is it anyway?
8:28.
8:28. Going once?
Thanks, Uncle.
Going twice? No other question?
Thanks, Bobby.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
Nighty night.
See you, Ricky Ricardo.
Nighty night.